24 CTU Undercover, the game really captures the intensity and the feel of 24. No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Let's talk about it.
What does that even mean, Bauer's game?
Ahoy there, you two. We're back again for another Thoughts in the Corner here with my good friend Adam. Yep. We're talking about 24 CTU Undercover game. This is for ages 12 plus for 2 to 4 players. It's from Briar Patch, where games go to die. And in 24 CTU Undercover, this is a little bit like Clue. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to have 24 of these CTU cards. There's 8 people, 8 locations, and 8 ways to kill people or something. And every player is going to have 3 of these cards. You'll have a person, you'll have a location, and you'll have a killing device. And the goal of the game is that you are going to be able to successfully guess any other player at the table exactly what they have, deduction style, aka Clue. So you're going to have one of these little score sheets right here, and obviously at the beginning of the game, you'll get your 3 cards, and you'll mark off what cards that you have, because obviously no one else has those cards. And then what you're going to do on your turn is, oh, you love it, you're going to spin this spinner right here, and you're going to move Jack Bauer around this board. Beep, 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 beep. He's going to go around the clock, and when he gets to different spots, he's going to do a couple different things. So there's Spy, which lets you peek at the card, and then you get private information. So, Nita Myers, she was at 7 a.m., and so now I know that nobody else has Nita Myers. But you also on here, this is where the quirk of the game is, you want to write down the time in which you saw Nita Myers, because somebody else might take Nita Myers into your hand, and then there's be like, oh, craziness. There's Interrogate, where you get to essentially call someone out and say, I think you have this, this, and this. And if you're right, they show it, and it's cool. And then there's Switch, where you get to take the card from wherever you land and then put it into your hand, and then you put out a card from your hand, but it's face up out there, so that's free information for everybody, and it speeds along the game. There's Expose, which, does some crap too. And then there's the worst one. The worst one is Cell Call, so everybody has this cell phone looking thing here, and you're supposed to slide. It's kind of a cool idea. I will give them that. So you slide your little sheet in there, and then you get the cell phone. So if you get on cell phone, then you can take one of these, and then you get to slide it into somebody else's cell phone, and then you get their information. But it's only the hour information, which for the most part is really useless. It's because there's an hour part and then there's a note part. On the note part, you mark important information, oh, it's not this card. And you do that until someone catches someone and says, hey, you have this, this, and then the other thing. Also, at the end of your turn, you can just flat out say, I think you have this, this, and this. And it's interesting because if you're right, they show that to everybody what they have. And if you're wrong, then you have to flip over one of your cards, which inevitably means the game is going to catapult towards being over, because you only have 3 cards, and there's only 24 cards in the game. And that's the basic gist to 24 CTU Undercover. If you're more interested, I'm sure thousands of people put videos up on this gem. What did you think about it after your first impression?
Not great.
Okay, wait, stop. Did you say not good as well?
Yes, not good.
Okay, just clarify.
It seems okay, we're going to be trying to figure these things out. There's going to be certain... No. It's like every single action that you do is random. You don't be I like to spy, so I'm going to do that more. No, it's random chance.
Yeah, you can only get spy on a 1 or a 3.
And the amount that you go. And so, you don't even get to choose the card that you're looking at or anything. So you're not really working toward a goal in this. It's just whatever information they've given you. There's no strategy in this game whatsoever.
Which is even more glaring to me with the theming of this game. If this were a children's game, I'd understand it. I'd be like, whatever. This is 24. It's about murdering terrorists and protecting the president. It's not a children's show. You shouldn't have children's game mechanisms in a freaking game about 24.
Yeah. You should be able to choose what you're going to do and, maybe roll for how many spaces you move. But the roll and move thing is dumb as well.
Okay, so here's my question. What did you like about the game? Was there anything?
So
Say something nice, Adam.
honestly, I thought that these cell phone things were going to be pretty cool when I first saw it.
Yeah, me too.
And like, oh, you make the call, right? And then you see
You
like
slide
just
it
their little
because you
area.
got to pick which one of these you want.
Yeah,
Like,
you get to
oh, and I
choose from
need
the
this
6.
information.
But then you realize, like, oh yeah, even if they have one of those filled in, it's probably one that you've already seen.
Yeah.
Because most of these things, everyone gets to see them.
And I imagine playing this with a younger kid, like a 10, 12, 13-year-old, and they get that, like, oh, this is going to be cool. Then they get the information they get is it's always going to be disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, once in a blue moon, you might be like, oh, I found, yeah.
Yeah, well, even in, like compared to Clue, you get to choose where you're walking to.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't, you can't even choose where you're walking to.
They took Clue
And they
and
made
it worse.
Terrible, yeah.
Okay, so nothing you liked about the game at all.
I liked the cell phone component.
It looks neat. It does functionally. It
Like,
holds it well.
Yeah, and well, production quality. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try and say something nice
Terrible
about this game.
box insert.
Hey! The rules. We didn't have many rules questions, did we? Huh? Yeah.
That is true.
So the rules, solid.
All 3 pages.
Gameplay, piss poor, boring. Don't ever want to play it again, ever. Even if someone comes over and they're like if you're a diehard 24 fan, the theme doesn't come across at all.
I'll be like, save yourself.
Yeah, like that because
You will dislike 24 a little bit after you play this game.
it's delightful. I love 24. I should be the target market for this. A hobby board game about 24. But once again, anytime Briar
Did you actually
Patches.
watch 24?
I love 24. Oh
I've
my
never
gosh.
seen it.
I got through the first 6 or 7 seasons. It's so good. It's so action-packed. It's just stupidly action-packed. So yeah, I should be the target market for this, and at the end of the day, I'm really happy that this is going to leave my shelf because it's a pile of crap. And Briar Patch, I don't know if they're still in business, but I hope not. This just stop making games. Stick with crayons or something. Because I swear, every single time I play a Briar Patch game, and look at this crappy wall of games I got here. I play a lot of crap games. Briar Patch, it's just consistently crap. It's like LJX for the NES back in the day. They once again, they got the license, they butchered the game. It's got a terrible box insert too, but at that point, who cares? So if you're sitting at Goodwill, should you buy this? No, it's not redeemable for the components, gameplay. It's just 2 to 4 players, very limited player count. It's not, and then the end game is kind of weird and wonky because we're not even gonna waste our time. It sucks.
Go
It
find
sucks.
Homeland and play that.
Yeah. For dirt cheap too. But I always ask this question: if I was going to hand you this game, would you want it?
I wouldn't even use it for kindling.
Pretty sure that would be toxic, right? It's like, well, good for
I
you.
assumed that they didn't use like breathable printing on this one.
There you go. That is 24 CTU Undercover game from Briar Patch. It looks like it might be your cup of tea. What video were you watching? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. It's on my shelf. Yeah. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.